Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's Attorney Wilberforce Agyekum, Ivy Law Office. I just wanted to touch up on something regarding VAWA that I believe is a misconception. That is, hold on, let me wake this up a little bit. All right. So, VAWA is an acronym short for Violence Against Women's Act. That leads to a little bit of a confusion in the immigration context. What exactly is VAWA? VAWA allows an immigrant to self petition for their green card if they are the victims of abuse by a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, spouse, or relative. Relative, that means parents, siblings, and children. If you are a victim of abuse by one of those relatives, you qualify to file for yourself, your green card by yourself, for yourself, without that particular relative whom you likely expected to file an I-130 petition for alien relative on your behalf. Now, when this happens, and a relative or spouse, in this case, I'm going to focus on spouses and particular male spouses. When this happens, the immigrant who came or was brought here by that particular U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, and then all of a sudden abuse starts to occur once they get here. Well, if that happens, typically that immigrant is left in limbo or at the mercy of the abuser. Not good. This is what brought VAWA as an option for those particular immigrants to be able to self petition for a green card under U.S. immigration law. So typically, when most people hear Violence Against Women's Act or a spouse being able to file based on abuse, we usually think of women who are generally, yes, victims of abuse in that context, especially in the physical aspect of abuse. But VAWA is not just for women, and it is allowed, it is available for both genders who experience certain types of abuse, not just physical abuse, although that is usually where a lot of women come into that category. But then there's also emotional and psychological abuse. There's also financial abuse or exploitation. There's there's all kinds of areas in which one can fall into that category. You probably need an attorney to be able to walk you through it and to assess your particular situation in order to advise you on whether or not VAWA is a good option for you in your situation. But particularly for the men, male victims of abuse, most of us, like myself, coming from Africa or other countries, where men are kind of, we hold ourselves up strong and proud, and we suffer in silence like most men. Now, when you're an immigrant to the United States, whatever your standing was back home, you may not have it here. And if you were married to someone who may not really be into you or is no longer interested in you, it could present a problem. As a man, especially coming from places like Africa, Caribbean, and most places, males are very proud and very much think they lead the household, and they can do no wrong. And sometimes they just, men. But in the context of immigration, when you come to America, you are an immigrant and you are vulnerable in the sense that without having the protection of your green card and your documents, you are basically at the mercy of whoever brought you to this country. If you intend to stay, in most cases, most people that come here have already basically, liquidated their lives back home and they have nothing to go back to because they were promised a life with their spouse here in America. And then after you arrived, in some cases, things go awry. And I'm talking only in the marriage context. But again, remember, VAWA is available for close family members who also fall victims to abuse by those who brought them here. But in the marriage context, for men in particular, the issue is very sensitive. Every time I bring up VAWA as an option for males who have been mistreated and abused by U.S. citizen spouses or lawful permanent resident spouses, they hesitate. They hesitate. But again, the image is that you're being beaten up and physically beaten and assaulted by your wife as a man, and that's why you want to file VAWA. It's not about that. Okay, so if you are a man listening to me and you're an immigrant and you are dealing with these abusive issues, controlling, embarrassing, being talked down to, being threatened with immigration or police for not doing anything wrong, being exploited financially, sexually, or otherwise, it's abuse, no matter who's doing it. In terms of your spouse, who's a victim is you. So your only option at that point is, because there's VAWA as an option, you may be able to go ahead and get out of that abusive situation and file a self-petition for your green card. Obviously, you're going to have to show something. You can't just come and say this what happened and it's okay. But you have to be able to make a case for VAWA. Now, remember, this is a humanitarian category of immigration and petitions. So it's not going to be about a trial. The abuser is not going to be contacted. The abuser is not going to be investigated. This is not about that. This is about you having an opportunity to remain in this country and apply for your green card on your own because of the issues of abuse and all those factors that comes with being in an abusive situation. It is there to help you and to make right what that person did so wrong to you. It's not easy. It's a process, and it's you have to submit both the application, petition, and all the supporting documents in the manner in which it will be able to be assessed as a whole. So, again, I just want to remind most of you men out there that you do not have to remain in an abusive relationship if that is what is happening once you arrive in the United States. You have an option to move forward and file for your green card on your own. Even if you have a pending petition under I-130, you are not required to remain in an abusive relationship in order to get that green card. Goes for you women too. So, again, it's about humanitarian policies for the U.S. government to allow this to happen. Therefore, if you are in any type of abusive situation and you feel like you have to stay there because you don't have your green card, or you have to stay there until you get your green card, that is not so. You need to protect yourself and not put yourself or remain in the situation where it could be harmful to you or maybe your children and other relatives. Okay? If you're not sure about VAWA, if you don't understand or you need more information, contact a lawyer. I do VAWA. I appreciate helping people get out of situations like abuse and exploitation. And if need be, we will sit down and review your case for you and let you know whether or not you are are eligible for VAWA petition. Obviously, the decision will be the USCIS, but we as lawyers, we can at least assess your situation. Okay, so if you need assistance with VAWA, if you have questions, you want to call, you want to get a consultation with our office, with myself, you call us at 301-276-0887, 301-276-0887, or you can visit our website at ivylawoffice.com. Reach out to me and I will be happy to discuss VAWA with you. Again, if you're in an abusive situation, find a way to get out. Don't be held prisoner because of the green card issue. Yes, you don't want to be out of status. You don't want to get in trouble with immigration laws, but your life comes first. So again, reach out to a lawyer, reach out to myself, to 301-276-0887, and I'll be happy to assist you with your VAWA petition. All right? Thank you.